looks good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Brittany. I appreciate it. First, I just want to say, hey, everybody. Hi. How's it going? So I'm Joey Nations. Like she said, I also have a group called Western Patriot, so you can look forward to further events in the future with us as well. And so we'll be here at the Capitol. I live here in Salem, and so we're going to help represent for the freedom movement right here in Salem because we need to turn Oregon red, everybody. We need to turn Oregon red. Everybody knows it. Everybody feels it. If you live in Salem, if you live in Portland, Eugene, any place, you feel the effect of Portland and Eugene. Whether you live in Salem, you live in Bend, any city that you live in out here, you feel the politics of Portland. Right. Everybody knows the politics of Portland. It's anti-American. It's anti-Republican, it's anti-conservative, and all they want to do is scare people, right? The politics of Portland is such that we feel like people who go up there might have to gather in groups ahead of time and walk to these events early, and they have to make sure that they're safety-oriented, right? Well, a big part of making sure that we continue to have these events is making sure that we show up, right? We got to show up and represent for America. I see lots of flags out here. Who here loves the USA? Right? Me too. Me too. That's why I'm here. That's why my family's here. That's why my kids are here. Because we are finally getting to the point where as Americans we can gather peacefully without fear. And that's important. Being able to gather here peacefully and make sure that we're not, bothered or harassed by anybody, that's a big deal. And so one thing I want to talk about really is representation that stands up for you here at the state capitol, right? Because we're out here all by ourselves and we're standing up tall. We're going to Portland, we're going to Salem, we're going to Seattle, we're going all over the place, right? Are y'all coming up to Portland? We're going to do that? Let's do that. Absolutely. So a couple things that I want to talk about here. Number one is I want to talk about Governor Kate Brown. Governor Kate Brown has it in for the citizenry of America. She has it in for the citizenry of Oregon. If you look at what she is doing with the immigration in this state, it's absolutely insane. The second that she starts standing up for the people that live in this state will be the day that I am shocked. Because if you look at what she does for her own self-worth, she stands up there and says, President Trump, he's wrong. He's wrong on immigration. And I think all of us here know that Trump is right on immigration. Can I get an agreement here? Right? Yeah, 100%. 110%. Because you know what? President Trump has the American people in mind. And so Governor Kate Brown, what she has in mind is herself. She has an ideological point in mind where she doesn't want to support Oregonians. She wants to support groups who come here illegally. She wants to support groups who don't want anything to do with becoming a good Oregonian. She wants to make sure that Oregonians are the last thing on her mind. And that to me is an absolute travesty. How can you allow someone who is supposed to represent you as a state, literally represent just Portland and Eugene? I don't think she represents anywhere else in this state. And all the people in Portland and Eugene who are conservative, they're essentially held hostage by her politics and by the way that she treats the people of this state. And so when I talk about a love for America and a love for the USA, one thing I really think about is we want people to come here who love this country, right? Yeah. Right? We want people to come here who love this country. We're fine with immigration. We want it to be legal immigration. So we want you to show up here if you love this country. We want you to work hard, bring your family, show them what hard work looks like, but you do it the right way. You come legally. You come with paperwork in hand and with a good heart. And so, that's not my speech. I'm not sure whose that is. I think that might have been Frank's. Granny's. So, one thing you really have to think about is the representation that you're not getting from Kate Brown. She has nothing but herself and that ideological mix in mind. And so, when you talk about the way that she treats the federal government, the way that she treats the tax dollars of this state, I hope all of you are upset. Whether you live here or not, the way that the politics of Oregon work is that it gravitates to other places as well. And so, do y'all feel your tax dollars being sucked out of your pockets every day? Yeah. Do you feel that? Because that's Kate Brown suing the federal government. That's Kate Brown saying, we don't have state employees here who are allowed to work with the federal government. because she signed an executive order saying no public money or public time by our employees will be spent helping the federal government enforce immigration law. Does that sound crazy to you?
Yes.
That's insane. How can you run a government where you say, well, we have rules for some and not rules for others? Because I guarantee you, every American citizen who wanted to, I don't know, run off to another country, we wouldn't get quite the reception that people get when they come here illegally, right? And so Kate Brown is literally suing the federal government using tax dollars that we are short of in this state. Did y'all know we have a 1.6 or 1.4, depending who you ask, billion-dollar deficit in this state? Did y'all know that?
Yeah.
The reason that we have a $1.6 billion hole is because Kate Brown and the Democrats decided to spend $1 billion one-time Obamacare money a couple years ago, knowing they wouldn't get a dime back. They are not getting a dime back of that, and they knew that when they spent it. Call that bad economics. Someone tells you, hey, I'm going to give you $1 million today. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to spend it all now? Or are you going to invest it? I think you're going to invest it, right? Maybe. And so one thing you really got to look at again here is Kate Brown does not have Oregonians' interests in mind. She has her interests in mind. If Hillary Clinton had won, where do you think Kate Brown would be today? She'd be in Washington, D.C. Do you think I'm wrong?
No.
If Hillary Clinton won, she had a position waiting for Kate Brown. That was a done deal. That was a done deal. So what do you think Kate Brown did? I would love to have seen her the night of the election. Hillary Clinton's going, she's getting ready, right? She's up there going, oh, my glass ceiling, it's going to shatter. I can't wait. Kate Brown's going, I'll pick up the pieces, Hillary, don't you worry. Right? Oh, Trump picks up Florida. Oh, my. Oh, no.
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania, oh no! Michigan, oh no! Ohio, oh no! Well, I guess I'm going to be stuck in Oregon. And so Kate Brown wanted to bring those insane policies that she was going to push with Hillary Clinton in D.C. She wants them here. She wants your kids to learn about transgender issues in school and learn about gender choice in kindergarten. She wants your children to be confused about who they are and what they are. I don't want my kids confused about anything other than maybe what they're going to have for lunch that day, right? It needs to be a simpler life than that. You can't sit there and pretend that things are what they are not. And that is exactly what our representatives, Democrat, and the Democratic governor of this state do. We actually have a lot of good representatives in this state capitol. They have an R after their name. Right? So the Republican representatives in this state capitol, they do their best, but those guys and gals are literally being held hostage by this mentality of progressive politics. Right? What does progressive politics mean to you? It's about the least progressive thing I've ever seen in my life. Do y'all remember when we split up the genders and said, okay, well, we're going to have men's sports, we're going to have women's sports, right? Title IX, that's what they called it. Now we're going backwards. Now they're saying, wait a minute, if you're a boy, but you want to identify otherwise, you're welcome to play whatever you want. Because, you know, if your feelings aren't hurt, we're happy. That to me is completely insane. How do you represent the state government? How do you represent the people who live here if all you can think about is feelings and ideology, right? Do y'all dictate your life by feelings or with facts?
Both.
Okay. I like both. I think that's a good idea because what you're going to do is you're going to walk through life thinking, oh, I don't know. I am a sane person who doesn't, make all my decisions based on this core ideology that I maintain all the time. And if you're against it, I'm against you, right? That's not the way that we operate. We're freedom lovers. We're independence lovers. If you have a different opinion than me, let's have a debate. I don't want to sit there. Thank you. We love Trump too. Woo! Thank you. So this is something where I feel a little passionate about it, and the reason about that is I got kids. This is a matter of the future for me. And so when I think about what America looks like now versus what it should look like in the future, I think we're on a really good path, but we need to keep up the fight. We can't give up because we don't have representatives yet in our state We may have Trump, we may have the feds in Congress, we may have a lot of good representatives here.
Someone save that flag from falling over, please.
Yep. Someone make sure that flag doesn't fall. I'll make sure I grab it if it goes, okay? I'll sacrifice body for it, don't you worry.
I'll jump on yours.
All right. So, the main thing that I want to end here with is make sure that you're paying attention. If you're not paying attention, the Democrats, Governor Kate, whatever role they take, the socialists, the communists, whatever type of group is showing up to tell you that your mentality is wrong, to tell you that you don't deserve the kind of representation that you want, well, I'm here to send a message to them, okay? My message is that this is America. This is America. We get the representation we want. Does that sound right to y'all?
Yes.
Yeah.
We get the representation we want. It's called a republic for a reason. We pick who our representatives are in the voting booth. And so if you are paying attention to what is going on, you're going to be engaged in politics. You're going to be engaged at the city level, the county level, the state level, the national level. Because you start to see the options that you're given in this country. We would love to see a big, strong third party rise up for the American people, right? That's great. But what we have right now, we got to be realistic. We have the Democrats and the Republicans who are running the show. And so we have to look at what group is actually going to push America forward into a good future. What group is actually doing the work right now that most of us agree with? What group is the one that we can insert ourselves into and change from within to truly represent the American people and the people of Oregon? That's the Republican Party that we can reshape, we can remake to truly represent what we want and who we want to stand up there and make legislation happen. Because if you look at what the feds are doing, they're not supporting our president like they should, right? They pretend to represent the people who voted them in, but a lot of them do not necessarily do that. And I say it's time to stand up. Are y'all ready to stand up?
Yeah.
You ready to be counted? Are you ready to stand up and be counted? Because I tell you, I'm here to stand up and be counted as a voice that's not going to go away. I'm going to be here through 2018, through 2020, 2024. I mean, the 2060s are coming, but I'm thinking about it, all right? Because I'm not going to give up. And I'm going to look for representatives who stand up for what is actually the agenda that America needs, which is America first. That is what we need. We need America first. And if you are going to the voting booth with anything other than a fighting attitude, you're not electing the right person. Because we need people who are going to stand up and fight for us on the floor of the Senate, of the House, in committee hearings, you name it. And we have some of those folks here today, all right? And we need more folks that are willing to come out to events like this and say, I'm an elected official, and I'm here to fight for you guys. I'm here to stand up for you in the places that it matters. Because we all can't stand on the Senate floor. We can't stand on the House of Representatives, right? Unless you're elected. So if you're going to run and get elected, let me know. I'll help you out, right? But it's up to those folks who are actually in the State House to stand up and be counted when it's voting time. So we have to stand up and be counted ahead of time. Before the election happens, you're volunteering, you're campaigning, you're working, and you're voting to make sure that we get representatives who stand up for America, for Oregonians, for Americans first, for America first. I just want to say thank you all so much. God bless America. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of this rally, all right?
Yeah.